Reminds me of when I used to be a sprinter and you waited for the gun to go off, waiting like that. So thanks, Luke. Welcome everyone to this afternoon's meeting. This is a cabinet meeting of Gedling Borough Council, and it's been well distributed, the 6 items on the agenda. Welcome to our colleagues from the Bowls Club, who have given their strong representation, and we've received lots and lots and lots of correspondence. So I'm taking a very active part in putting their point of view. So I'm going to start the meeting now and call for apologies for absence. As I see in front of me, there are none. So item 2, which is on page 5, that is to move the recommendation on the minutes of the last meeting. I'll move them. Okay, we agree. Thank you. Moving on to item 4, which is a forward plan. Sorry, item 3, I forgot, declarations of interest. Declarations of interest, and there are none declared, apart from I have a pint in the arid and other people go in it, but that's all. Okay, so we're moving on now to the forward plan at 4, which is on page 11 to 16. Any comments on that? There are none, that's just there for noting. So thank you very much. Well agreed? Yeah, thank you. Move on to the main item of today's agenda, and that is the Leisure and Wellbeing Transformation Programme. And there are 5 items there in the recommendation. I'm going to move those so we can start the debate. So I'll move those, and what I will do, I'll then ask the portfolio, Henry Wheeler, to address us. Thank you. So I'll move those. Seconded. Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Leader. I'm really pleased to see this report come to Council after many years' work on this. I'd like to thank the officers for all the work that's gone into this. It's an ambitious, very exciting project for the future, and it will help us deliver our health and wellbeing outcomes for the whole borough. It will help us in terms of helping people to age well and remain active. And the key thing to say here, it will be a leisure project, a community project, which will work with all age groups. So it's a multi-generational offer that's in this report. It's really important that we do this because the facilities, some of the facilities we're in are over 50 years old. So, for example, Carlton Forum is 55 plus years old. We don't own that building either. That is owned by the County Council. It's a joint use agreement with the school as well. So we're 55 years old and it's creaking at the seams. And if you don't do anything, it will fall down anyway because of the need to put lots and lots of things in there in terms of the drains. The drains aren't working. We have issues with sewage. Lots of problems with Carlton Forum, which is why we need to build a new leisure centre at the Richard Owen site. Calverton Leisure Centre, we don't own that either. Not our building, belongs to the County Council, joint use agreement again. Redhill Leisure Centre, not our building, joint use agreement again. Both buildings over 50 years old, creaking at the seams, problems with roofs, problems with infrastructure, problems with boilers. We can't do nothing. We have to do something. So this report basically allows us to have a very exciting approach in terms of providing new facilities moving forward, and it will help us to meet the borough's health and wellbeing requirements for the future and ensure that we provide facilities for people of all ages and all groups. Also, I'm pleased to see in the report that we'll continue to work with the Bowls Club to find an alternative site. Also, as a Health and Wellbeing Board member, the County Council as the lead for health, I'm quite welcome to work with the County Council to see what financial support the County Council might be able to provide the Bowls Club moving forward, as I'm not aware of them providing any financial support to date. Thank you, Leader.
Thank you. And I'll ask Lance to give a background to the recommendations. Lance.
Thank you, Leader, and good afternoon to everyone today. So I'm just going to give an overview of the report. There's a lot of detailed information in there, so I'll run through some of that, but it will be a summary of some of the findings. So the report today sees me present a revised leisure strategy for the Council. It also updates and seeks a decision on our progress with the Carlton Active facility mix. It also considers ongoing support for Gedling Indoor Bowls Club and seeks a decision to undertake further consultation with the public regarding the future management of our leisure provision on local education sites. Before I begin, I'd just like to thank a couple of colleagues, Tom Fletcher, who's our leisure programme manager to my left, who's guided us through the work to date so far, and also Connor Payne to my right. Connor's our operations manager for Carlton Forum and Richard Herod Leisure Centres, who's also been supporting the transformation programme over the summer. So firstly, I'll draw Cabinet's attention to our revised leisure strategy. The strategy is based on the Strategic Outcomes Plan model. This is a Sport England methodology and provides our direction moving forward regarding the future of our leisure provision. In 2023-2024, Cabinet were provided with a new Strategic Outcomes Planning model for the borough. This provided a framework for the council to move forward for future leisure centre provision. The outcomes of that Strategic Outcomes Planning model were presented to Cabinet in November 23 and adopted by Cabinet. In July 2024, Cabinet were presented with the insight, interventions and commitment required in terms of the Strategic Outcomes Planning model. These recommendations for leisure sites were included in that documentation. In July last year, reflecting on these findings, Cabinet also instructed officers to undertake pre-construction feasibility planning up to REBA Stage 2 with regard to a new Carlton Leisure and Community Wellbeing Centre. Since then, officers have started to progress plans for a new facility for Carlton and also progress with a wider regeneration programme, Ambition Arnold, that seeks to offer proposals for new leisure and cultural facilities in Arnold Town Centre. Over the last 2 years, we've seen some significant changes that potentially affect our strategic position on leisure. These include challenging economic circumstances, including rising costs for delivering public facilities. It also looks at changes in our operating performance and finances with regard to the leisure service. There's also been changes at national and regional government too. As a result, it was important to reflect on this and undertake a refresh of our Strategic Outcomes Planning model and our leisure strategy. So Appendix A of today's report provides that refresh of the document. It has updated on the national strategic position regarding the direction for local government and in terms of the transformation of our National Health Service. It also updates on local strategies too. This includes the East Midlands Combined County Authority Strategic Plan, the Council's own medium-term financial plan over the next 5 years, and also its own local development plan. It has reviewed, analysed and assessed a broad range of updated demographic and health and wellbeing data for the borough. It's also looked at our leisure centres' performance. It's also considered findings from our leisure transformation consultation that was undertaken throughout the summer months and also provides market research to inform options for future leisure provision. Notable findings have shown considerable improvements in the number of residents who are active in the borough since COVID-19, and these are improvements well above national and regional averages. However, it also highlights inequality that continues to exist in parts of the borough and also the challenges the council faces in terms of its medium-term financial plan, seeking to find an additional £3.3 million worth of efficiencies over the next 5 years. Based on the research, the new strategy provides recommendations for each of its current leisure centres, which I will summarise now. Firstly, in the long term, it recommends progression with the Ambition Arnold regeneration programme. This includes developing plans for a new leisure centre in Arnold Town Centre that replaces the current Arnold Leisure Centre site and also the current operations at Redhill Leisure Centre. This would bring wet and dry side facilities together. Part of this plan would be to seek opportunities to retain the sports hall and 3G football pitch facilities at Redhill Leisure Centre for ongoing community use. This remains a long-term ambition as part of the strategy for which future capital programme would need to be determined. In terms of short-term priorities for the strategy, these involve moving forward with recommendations for our facilities in Carlton and also in Calverton. For Carlton, the strategy recommends replacing the current Carlton Forum Leisure Centre with new swimming, fitness and community facilities at the Richard Herod site. This looks to combine the offer at Richard Herod with the new replacement Carlton Forum facilities. The strategy highlights retaining sports hall provision for community use, potentially at the existing school site. The support for this recommendation for a new Carlton facility, the strategy proposes a core facility mix for the new site. This includes swimming, fitness studios, gym, community room, and a cafe, as well as considering a new 3G football pitch. It also highlights additional options for the new facility, including soft play and a 6-lane indoor bowls rink that should be tested by a business plan assessment to guide the ongoing selection of the best facility mix for the centre. The outcome of that business plan assessment will be presented later today. It should be noted that the strategy assessment found there to be some demand for indoor bowls in the community and recommended that a with bowls and a without bowls option should be considered as part of the early feasibility planning for the new facility. It also noted that the council could support Gedling Indoor Bowls Club to find alternative provision. The rationale for the new Carlton Active facility is comprehensive, based on the latent demand for swimming and fitness, opportunities for commercial income, opportunities for joining up health and wellbeing service delivery, offering community space and meeting the demand for both family and active ageing provision. Importantly, the recommendation reflected on both the Council's current financial position and the need to reduce the subsidy of the Council's leisure services, as well as the ongoing high-cost maintenance issues due to the age of the Carlton Forum Leisure Centre at over 50 years old. The other short-term recommendation was future plans for Calverton Leisure Centre. The strategy recommends retaining the facility for community use, but to seek the opportunity to work with local partners and national governing bodies to explore new delivery models that remove the Council's financial subsidy. It acknowledges that protecting community access will be subject to financial viability. This recommendation seeks to address the subsidy position of the Council's leisure services while proposing that plans are made to seek ongoing leisure provision for the local community. Our summer consultation included strong support for facilities in Calverton. The purpose of this report today is for Cabinet to note the findings and recommendations of the new leisure strategy as an evidence base and framework for future investment and management of the Council's portfolio for leisure. Further to this, Cabinet is asked to note the findings of the stakeholder engagement and consultation that has taken place over the summer. And this has been used to inform the new strategy and our forward plans for developing a new leisure centre for Carlton. Appendices C and D present the detailed findings. Our methodology was to undertake a survey of residents, supported by a broad range of focus groups and engagement with stakeholder meetings over a period of 8 weeks in May, June and July 2025. Our survey attracted 1,490 responses. 87% were current leisure centre users, 88% lived in the borough. There was a strong mix of respondents of both younger families and older adults. 36% were retired and 19% reported living with a long-term health condition, giving us confidence in terms of viewpoints from these communities. Current users highlighted their most popular activities were main pool and gym, and they reflected a great emphasis on health and fitness and core swimming facilities. Some interest was expressed in family-orientated activities and in particular provision that supports active ageing, social and group activities being most popular. Existing users also valued the concept of a community hub. Again, popularity for social space, with a third of these respondents preferencing a cafe in the new Carlton facility. In terms of non-users of our leisure sites, over half said they would use a new Carlton Active Centre if it was opened. Health and fitness facilities were a preference for these non-users, and swimming featured prominently for this cohort. Again, non-users showed some interest in family-orientated facilities, such as a climbing wall or soft play, and also the need for social and group activities to be included in the new facility. Once again, a cafe gaining strong interest. Alongside our survey, over 20 focus groups were held with residents, sports clubs, equalities groups, and also our strategic partners. Young people from the Youth Council and from local schools highlighted affordability, social spaces, and more focus on youth activities. Older adults from the Seniors Council and community groups expressed the need for warm water swimming and water exercise, assisted exercise, accessible design, and also social spaces. Our partners from health saw the opportunity for a hub for prevention, rehabilitation, and social prescribing, co-location being an option. Our workforce highlighted the importance of modern, safe, and flexible facilities to help us adapt programmed activity. A key aspect of the focus group programme was 2 workshops organised with the support of Gedling Indoor Bowls Club, based at Richard Herod Centre. More than 200 people attended these sessions, which provided the council with a clear picture of the club's priorities and concerns. It was emphasised the importance of maintaining a 6-lane rink facility for indoor bowls provision, for sustaining participation, hosting competitions, and to support the club's viability. The assessment in the original Strategic Outcomes Plan and Model strategy included just 3 lanes, and this was viewed as unviable by the club and attendees. Other issues raised at those meetings were continued provision during redevelopment of the site, historic significance of the club, the wellbeing benefits of bowls, the risk of providing no bowls provision in terms of a negative impact on older and disabled residents, with potential increases in loneliness, mental health harm, and reduced social connection. In addition to the focus groups, Gedling Indoor Bowls Club also provided additional information to support their views, supported by England Indoor Bowls Association. This included a business plan for maintaining the current provision at Richard Herod. As a result of this feedback, the strategy recommendations include the need to assess the viability of a 6-lane bowls rink as part of our facility mix assessment for the new Carlton Active Centre, and to consider ongoing support for the Bowls Club. I would ask Cabinet to note the effort, commitment and extensive engagement that Gedling Indoor Bowls Club has undertaken to engage with the Council and represent the views of their users and sport. In summary, our engagement confirmed demand for extended swimming and gym facilities, support for older adults and those with health conditions, family opportunities, community and social space, especially a cafe and community room, the need for football facilities across the borough, indoor bowls, and the need to test the financial viability for this. Cabinet is asked to note the findings from the consultation. The further purpose of this report today is to seek Cabinet approval for the outline facility mix for the new proposed Carlton Active Centre. Based on the new leisure strategy recommendations, our consultants, Max Associates, have developed a business plan for Carlton Active, set out in Appendix B of the report. This assessment looks at analysis of evidence such as current financial and participation performance of both Carlton Forum and Richard Herod, external benchmarking of this, market testing, and consultation findings. The new strategy recommends forming the basis of our facility mix assessment. It includes latent demand analysis for health and fitness to ensure a strong evidence base and also commercial viability. The assessment considered a core offer of swimming, gym, exercise studios, a community room, cafe, and 3G football pitch. Specific details are listed in the report. Based on the strategy recommendations, it also considered options for adding soft play and a 6-lane bowls facility to the mix. The latter included due to the strength of that preference identified during the consultation. 4 options have therefore been considered. Option 1, core mix only, no soft play or bowls. Option 2, core mix with 6-lane bowls, rink only. Option 3, core mix with soft play only. And then a 4th option, which is core mix with both a 6-lane bowls rink and soft play. It should be noted that engagement with local sports clubs, and in particular the Football Foundation and Nottinghamshire FA, has identified a demand for additional 3G football pitches in the borough. As a result, Max Associates included this in the original core facility mix as part of their assessment. The capital cost for the new facility has been estimated at £30 million, excluding soft play, bowls, and a 3G pitch. The funding strategy for this will be determined as part of our further REBA Stage 2 planning, a full business case and funding strategy to be developed early in 2026. Capital funding is expected to be drawn from a mix of capital receipts, community infrastructure levy, earmarked reserves, external grants, and a need for prudential borrowing. As a result, at the heart of the assessment for each option has been the potential income that could be maximised based against a need to repay borrowing costs. To determine this, the impact of borrowing repayment has been assessed against a facility mix that includes the additions of soft play, 6-lane indoor bowls rink, and also a 3G football pitch. This is determined as follows. Option 1, core mix only without a 3G pitch, provides the highest net surplus per annum at £186,300. Option 2, the core mix plus bowls, would see an annual net deficit of £552,400 due to the estimated additional capital costs for providing this facility and the borrowing repayments required for this. It is estimated that the cost of an additional bowls facility on site would be between £5.6 million and £7.7 million. Option 3, core mix with soft play, this provided an annual surplus of £177,800, just under the option 1 levels. The difference between that and option 2 is the lower capital costs and therefore lower borrowing repayments requested for soft play. It is estimated that the soft play facility would cost an estimated £650,000. Option 4, the core mix with both bowls and soft play, this facility would still be in deficit due to the level of additional annual borrowing repayments required for the bowls facility. Analysis has also looked at a further option to assess the impact of including a 3G football pitch in the core mix. This fourth option would return a small annual surplus of £15,000 when additional borrowing repayments are considered. However, this is dependent on a 60% contribution to capital costs provided through external grant funding. Both Appendix B and the Cabinet report provide details regarding further analysis in relation to this business plan. This includes demand and impact on potential income from health and fitness facilities and swimming, the estimated community room hire income, additional income estimates from indoor bowls, soft play, and a 3D football pitch, secondary income gained from a cafe facility assessed against the different options, expenditure required for the new facility including staff, business rates and utilities, the need for the Council's medium-term financial plan to achieve considerable reductions in the subsidy of its leisure service. Capital costs included in this assessment are based on a gross internal floor area industry estimates. It should be noticed that these will be further refined as part of our REBA 2 design planning. In conclusion, the business case analysis for a proposed Carlton Active facility mix identifies positive income growth for the service. However, built in is a requirement for additional borrowing to enable the different options to be delivered. Inclusion of a 6-lane bowls rink due to the additional borrowing capital requirement has a significant impact on the Council's borrowing potential and is deemed unviable as a result. The financial and capital costs associated with a 3G football pitch have also been assessed, and it is concluded that the Council should not overcommit financially at this stage by including that provision, suggesting the football needs in the borough are revisited as part of our ongoing review of the Council's playing pitch and outdoor pitch sports strategy. It is therefore recommended to Cabinet, based on the financial modelling, to progress with a Carlton Active facility mix that includes the proposed core offering with soft play, but without the inclusion of a 3G football pitch or a 6-lane indoor bowls rink. Regarding football facilities, the Council will continue to work with the Football Foundation and Football Association and local football clubs to identify solutions to meet local needs. Based on the new strategy recommendation that reflected there is some need for indoor bowls provision, Cabinet is recommended to offer ongoing support to Gedling Indoor Bowls Club to explore relocation options. This support would include officer time, be non-financial, but officers can advise and support on external funding options for the club. The final recommendation is for Cabinet to agree to further consultation to be undertaken to seek a public view on the Council withdrawing its service provision from current joint use agreement leisure centre sites. The purpose of this recommendation is to give due consideration regarding the new leisure strategy recommendations and meeting our duties to consult. The context is the Council does not own Carlton Forum, Redhill or Calverton leisure sites. These sites are located on education sites, and the Council's operations regarding leisure at each site are governed by historical legal joint use agreements. At Carlton Forum and at Calverton Leisure Centre, our joint use partners are Nottinghamshire County Council and Redhill Academy Trust. At Redhill Leisure Centre, the agreement is with Redhill Academy Trust solely. We have already considered with the public, as part of the summer consultation, the option to move facilities from Carlton Forum to a new facility at Richard Herod. In light of the long-term recommendation to progress Ambition Arnold that could see council operations for health and fitness move to a new facility, the Council considers it a duty to consult the public regarding the potential withdrawal from the Redhill site and understand the need to ensure all facilities are safeguarded for the community subject to financial viability. Likewise, the strategy has a shorter-term recommendation to explore new ways to deliver leisure facilities at the Calverton site, to both protect local facilities, but also to remove the impact of leisure service subsidy on the Council's medium-term financial finances. The Council again considers it has a duty to consult the public regarding the potential withdrawal of its management from that site and to understand community need to ensure facilities are safeguarded for the community, subject to a viable financial business case. To summarise, the Cabinet report and associated appendices provide a rationale for future leisure provision in Gedling. It not only includes a new leisure strategy, but feedback from our extensive consultation and engagement, a business plan for the proposed facility mix for the Carlton Active project, competition analysis to determine options for that facility mix, and assessments regarding the impact proposals for Carlton Active will have on both climate change and equalities. With regard to equalities impact, I do want to draw Cabinet's attention to some of the assessment being considered regarding certain demographic groups. The equality impact assessment identifies a potential negative impact on both older people and those with a disability, and this is based on the potential resizing, relocation or closure of the Bowls facility. This reflects the feedback we've received through consultation and engagement during the summer. It recognises Gedling Indoor Bowls Club plays a role in promoting physical activity, social connection and positive mental well-being for some older people and those with long-term health conditions. Therefore, the Equality Impact Assessment considers how to mitigate this potential negative impact in the following ways. Firstly, the proposed Carlton Active facility mix must include age-friendly facilities such as assisted exercise, accessible design, community spaces and targeted inclusive programmes to support older residents and those with health conditions. In doing so, the new centre will seek to build on existing service provision at the current Carlton Forum Leisure Centre, and this is detailed in Appendix A of the Equality Impact Assessment. This includes providing senior leisure cards, DNA membership, 50-plus programmes, incorporating physical activity and social connection, adult swim lessons, rolling out the most popular activities for our senior and disabled users, such as yoga, Pilates, DNA health, assisted fitness, and also armed forces memberships, as well as working with our health partners to continue to provide and expand programmes offering physiotherapy, tailored rehabilitation programmes related to cardiac, stroke, cancer, and falls prevention, amongst others. A further mitigation is the Cabinet report seeking approval from Cabinet to provide support to Gedling Indoor Bowls Club in seeking alternative venue options for indoor bowls provision in the borough. And finally, we will of course seek to continue to engage with our older residents and those with health conditions to ensure we are meeting their needs moving forward. So I put forward the following recommendations for Cabinet consideration today. Firstly, Cabinet notes the research findings and recommendations from the updated leisure strategy, which forms the evidence base and strategic framework for future investment and management of the Council's leisure portfolio. Secondly, Cabinet notes the results of the 2025 Leisure Transformation Consultation and Stakeholder Engagement. Thirdly, Cabinet approves the further feasibility work on the recommended outline facility mix for the Carlton Active Centre, based on option 3, core facilities with soft play. At this stage, this will not include a 3G pitch. 4, Cabinet agrees, in line with the leisure facilities strategy, that the Council will continue to engage with and offer non-financial support to Gedling Indoor Bowls Club in exploring relocation options. And finally, Cabinet agrees to undertake consultation to seek a public view on the Council withdrawing its service provision from the Joint Use Agreement leisure centre sites, in line with the recommendations in the leisure strategy.
Thanks, Lance. And say thanks to you, thanks to your team, all our people on this top bench here have all contributed to it. A lot of time, a lot of effort, and also a big thanks to people like the Bowls Club and other people that use the centre. I think you've explained it in detail there. Just a little bit of, I heard on the radio yesterday, it said it was, is it 90 days to Christmas Day or something like that, something daft like that. And you're aiming to bring this back to this Cabinet in January. So just give us a little brief outline of what's happened in between that, because consultation will still carry on.
That's right. So what Cabinet agreed in July was to progress this work for a Carlton Active Centre up to REBA Stage 2. So our plan is to come to Cabinet at the end of July. And what we'll be doing up to that point is we'll be using the facility mix put forward today. And we'll start to do some more detailed design planning of that and concept planning. And what that will help us do is determine a full business case for the new site. And that will include, actual costs, more detailed costs in terms of the build facility and the capital funds that were required, and also the outcomes we can expect to get from that new facility. The other part of that work will be to agree a funding strategy as well. So this is where we'll need to bring to Cabinet the definite plan about how we're going to fund the capital programme. So obviously that design work's really key. We need to know the exact price, and then we can consider things like the cost of borrowing. So there'll be an assessment over the next 2 to 3 months in terms of, what is our borrowing potential, and to present those findings to Cabinet. So the aim of that report in January will be to agree the plans, REBA Stage 2 plans for the new site, but also to agree a business case and a funding strategy for the new site.
Thanks for that. I was just wondering, Tina, do you want to, for a lot of people that don't know, we've been subsidising this place now for hundreds of thousands of pounds a year, and it's not sustainable. That's what's helped to bring us to this, some of these decisions that are coming off now. I don't know, to give a bit of background on finance.
So in terms of the Council's medium-term financial plan, there is about £3.3 million worth of efficiencies that we need to find over the next 5 years. We simply do not have enough funds to commit and deliver our statutory services. Therefore, we have to look at our discretionary services and see where we can make savings and efficiencies. By far, the service that has the biggest subsidy currently is our leisure services. So bringing that to a position of a reduced or no subsidy would greatly help in delivering those efficiencies that are much needed for the authority. The provision of 2 new leisure centres, one a longer term plan in Arnold and another in Carlton, is key to enable us to deliver this. There is a potential borrowing requirement which would offset some of those the deliverability of some of those efficiencies. So we need to look at alternative ways of funding that, which we are currently doing. So it is really key that we do bring leisure to a reduced subsidy position in the next 5 years. Thank you.
Thanks, Tina. And we don't, as this authority, we do not intend getting into trouble like other authorities have got with finance. So, we're in a position that's very difficult. And if you're in your own position at home and you thought, I'm spending too much or it's costing too much, you have to look which way you can alter that, but try and improve the facilities. And that's what we're trying to do. Are there any comments from the Cabinet? Jenny.
Yes, thank you, Leader, and thank you to officers across the borough who've been involved in this. Thank you for a very comprehensive report, which to me is supported by what I consider to be very robust evidence. It's very clear, Leader, that we cannot carry on with our leisure facilities as they are. They are too costly, and as Councillor Wheeler has pointed out, will be more costly if they break down, and we can't offer a leisure facility at Carlton at all for a long time. Lance mentioned the increased activity since COVID, I think he said, but we need to maintain that and actually increase that momentum. We can't do that with an ageing and costly leisure estate. I am content that the consultations have been thorough and carefully considered. The proposed facilities mix provides an exciting and ambitious opportunity to improve and expand the health and leisure offer to all age groups within the borough, and particularly our older residents, and that is in line with the results of the consultation and what they have said they would like to see in a new facility. So I'm very supportive of the 5 recommendations. I'm very pleased to see that we'll continue to work with the Bowls Club to look at an alternative location for their activity, and I wish them well, thank them for their input. I think the consultations have had a really good response. I think it's probably one of the biggest ones we've had, so it shows how important it is to all groups. So I look forward to having a look at that further, the feasibility work, and look forward to another report in January, Leader. Thank you.
Thanks, Jenny. Any other members? Viv and then David.
Yeah, just thank you. I mean, first of all, to thank Lance for a very comprehensive presentation, and to thank all the officers. This is a very comprehensive piece of work that was been long overdue, and I really do welcome it. It was, I believe, it was very comprehensive and robust piece of work, lots and lots of hard work. I recognise that there's many strengths, but there's also many challenges in it, and I think we all recognise that. But welcome the inclusive, and I mean, I've done many consultations, and I think this is definitely the best consultation in terms of really engaging the community, which is really important for something that's so important. So I really welcome that. But I also welcome the fact that there's further discussion with our wider partners about some of our sites that are vulnerable, but looking at our partnerships, whether it be in schools and health, other members of the community, private sector, to see how some of the vulnerable sites can continue. Not with us running it, but maybe with one of our partners. So I welcome that, and I'm certainly very supportive of the recommendation. Thank you, Leader.
Thanks, Viv. David.
Thank you. Excuse me. Thank you, Chair. And I'd like to echo the thanks to Lance and the team, and Lance for the succinct summary of what is a comprehensive and extensive report. Also, echo the thanks to officers across the council for steering this, keeping an eye on it and sense checking, but also the consultants. We've involved a wide range of consultants with a wide range of expertise that they've brought to bear on this to make what I think is a robust piece of work that we can move forward. As Henry said, we've had lots of discussions over recent years about the way forward for leisure, and I'm pleased to see that we're finally making real progress. I think today is a significant step forward. Just picking up some of the specifics, the leisure strategy, I believe, just shows the way forward. I think it addresses the needs of the population, the condition of our built facilities and the adequacy of facilities in the wider sense, the complications of joint use and the complexities introduced by the wider range of academies involved, and the financial position of the council, as Tina said we've got 3.3 million more to find. We've been trimming back across the board, and it's getting increasingly hard to justify subsidies. I agree with Henry and with others that the Carlton Active is a priority, and I think that the work that's been done, the consultation, does show us a way forward with that. I'm happy with the mix that's proposed in option 3. I'm particularly pleased to see the community facilities. I know particularly many of our members have been concerned about the importance of the community facilities that the Richard Herod currently offers. And so I think that's something that they'll be pleased with. Also recognise the need for further discussion with partners, as we've said, of where we move forward on various options, various parts of the facility. And happy to see that we continue to work with the Bowls Club, Indoor Bowls Club, to see if we can help them find a new home and secure their future. Overall, it's a substantial investment in the future of the borough, 30 million. So it's challenging, but it's visionary, and I think we want to push on with it and move on as quickly as we can. Thank you.
Thanks, David. Anyone else? Linda?
Just to echo what Councillor Ellis has said, the social inclusion aspect of a community hub is very, very welcoming. Thank you very much to Cameron and Tom and Lance and everybody for what you've produced for us. But I think that's particularly important, and that inclusivity for all young and old together, grandparents, grandchildren together, is something that we need to continue in Gedling, because we're very good at that, and I would hate to think that we lose any of that inclusivity. So thank you very much for making that an important part of the report.
Thank you, Linda. Anyone else? Catherine?
Just to say, Leader, that I'm really happy to hear the positive mitigation measures that have been proposed within this strategy. I think that based on the extensive workshops and consultations that have taken place, this strategy serves all age groups, from early years to older people. I'm also welcoming of the ongoing consultation with joint use partners, and I'm happy to propose this strategy. And thank you to officers, the portfolio holder, and everyone that's taken part in letting their voice be heard in this consultation. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Henry, do you want to just sum up as the portfolio?
Yeah, I'd just like to say a big thank you to the officers and everybody that's been involved with this report. It's been a long time coming, but it's absolutely crucial to this borough's future in terms of the health and well-being of our citizens. It is a very inclusive project, very inclusive look in terms of, it's got a good inclusive look to it, multi-generational offer, as I was saying earlier. One thing I do need to say here is we're not closing any facilities at this stage. To those in the press who are listening, we are not closing facilities. We are consolidating our facilities and investing in the future. We will not be moving any of our facilities out of those current leisure assets until we've got new facilities in place. Thank you, Leader.
Thank you, Henry. I'll move to the vote. That's on page 17. I've already moved it. Recommendation. The 5 recommendations have been read out about 3 or 4 times, so I shan't go through those. We have it seconded, so all in favour? Thank you very much. That's the end of Minty. Sorry, there are no other items that are urgent, and therefore I'll close the meeting. Thank you.